Today's show is sponsored by Tell Me Your Secret, a bold new podcast and service designed to help you share your secrets in a supportive place, and also a podcast where you can hear other people's secrets. Find more information at tellmeyoursecret.club. I think it's safe to say that this podcast would not even exist if myself or my sisters or many of our friends had a shred of shame or embarrassment about the crazy things that happen to us in our everyday lives. For whatever happy reason, and for the most part, we embrace our embarrassing moments and have no problem sharing them with you. So, in the spirit of shame and happily embracing our embarrassing moments, we bring you stories today from sisters Jenny and Kari, with insights and a couple of sides from me about some of those moments. Stay with us. This is Kari Flodin, and you're listening to How in the Hell Did I Get Here? As usual, today's episode contains swear words. Jenny is about 26 or 27 and has to have knee surgery. The other thing you need to know about this story is that in our family, Jenny is well known for her revenge tactics. But what happens when the joke's on her?
I had to have knee surgery. So I had the knee surgery. Finally, my knee was good and I was back at work, but I'm still on crutches. I get back to work and one day I get up from my microscope in my desk and I'm going to go to lunch. So I start crutching down the hallway and I noticed my crutch kept, like it wasn't working well that day. And I'm like, God, what's the problem? Because I was just not coordinated. But I get in the elevator and we stop on another floor.
Was it upside down?
No, it wasn't upside down. I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
The elevator opens, another person gets on, and it happens to be the fucking best looking man I've ever seen.
Were you on drugs at this point?
No. I was at work. I mean, I'm like trying to pose with my crutches, and I'm like, yeah, baby. And so,
you weirdo. Me and my sexy crutches.
Right. We get down to the subway floor, the walking subway. So I'm going to lunch or coffee or whatever. And the door's open, and he's a gentleman, so he lets me out first. And I go, crutch. And then I stumble, and I almost fall. But I regain my, balance, and I go again, and it just keeps happening, and I'm totally embarrassed. And finally, the guy just goes around me and just goes ahead of me because.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, because I'm just a mess.
Because you're just a gimpy mess.
Yeah. So I get back to work, and I'm telling this story to my, I'm air quoting, friends that. And a couple of these guys are just cracking up because they know they had adjusted one of my crutches really tall.
Oh my God.
Oh, that is so nasty. What did you do to them that they did that to you? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I kicked them in the nads with my crutch, but that wasn't the only thing they ever did. Another day, it didn't go as far this time. Another day, I got up to go somewhere within the lab. And same thing. I get up on my crutches, and one of them slips out from under me, and I almost fall. They had put a Dixie cup on the bottom of one of my crutches.
Fuckers, they're trying to kill you, Jenny.
Yeah. I mean,
Jenny?
There's funny, and then there's Jenny funny. They pulled a Jenny funny.
Oh, trust me, I've gotten even with all of them since then. It's all good now.
Well, that's what I wondered if you...
I'm laughing. They're no longer laughing.
I was wondering if they were getting even with you already.
No. I was sweet and innocent back then.
What? No, you weren't.
Excuse me?
Yeah, kind of what. I was more so than now.
Well, you must have been a little sweeter and innocenter.
Yes, I'll take that.
Yeah, because otherwise they would have known, don't mess with Jenny.
Exactly.
I had only worked there probably a year or two at that time.
So they just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know not to
didn't know what they were signing up
Jenny.
for.
Yeah. Now I feel sorry for them all because they're not going to tell us.
And one of them I still know. The other one, as far as I know, he's still alive.
As in, like, in your basement or where? Last time you checked on him or what? Does Jenny have someone trapped in her basement in an act of retaliation? Stay tuned to find out. Do you wish you had someone you could tell your secrets to? Would you like to be able to share your secret in a safe, supportive environment? Are you ready to take a brave step forward and release your secret anonymously to me at Tell Your Secret, a bold new podcast and service where you can share your secret and also hear other people's secrets on the podcast of the same name? If your answer was yes to any of these questions, I would absolutely love to chat. Reach out to Kim, the coloring book coach, at tellmeyoursecret.club. Back now to Jenny, the possible person in her basement, and an interesting discussion about the proper way to measure just the right amount needed for garden mulch.
The other one, as far as I know, he's still alive.
As in, like, in your basement or where? Last time you checked on him or what?
No comment.
Oh, you might want to refer to Kari's freezer chart that she recently posted in the group.
I posted that a year or two ago, too. I love
Did
that
you really?
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
you probably have that saved on your favorites in your phone.
It was
for
like
when
a
you need
large family or
Yeah.
medium-sized family.
One
will fit.
person. Yeah. And I thought it too. I thought, geez, Lowe's is more helpful than Home Depot.
No shit. That guy couldn't, at Home Depot that day, he couldn't even compare, like, the size, like, how many bags of rocks we could fit.
Body to weight ratio.
Right.
Compared
What
Yeah.
kind of mathematician was that guy?
I
Not
know.
good.
compared to two
It's like-
full-size dead guys in my
Yeah.
truck.
Who doesn't use dead body weight to figure out what they can get in their trunk?
Right.
You know?
Right. Average size man, how many can I get in my trunk? That's how many things of rock I need. Duh.
Right. That's how many I know I can
I can
carry.
get 3.5 average size men in my trunk. So give me that
3.5?
amount of rocks.
You know, that
But
guy
now, which
actually
half?
played along.
That's going to make a difference too.
True that. Top or bottom.
Exactly. Well,
The
3.5.
the legs are way
Top.
lighter.
Yeah, the leg. Yeah, exactly.
But Kari, my favorite part that day was when he said something along the lines of, "What these guys are alive or dead? Because do they weigh the same?" And I'm like, "Yeah." At first,
Yeah.
but why did he? I mean, he totally played along. He's like, "Are these
He
guys
did.
alive or dead?"
Yeah. Yeah, he did play along. And he, I guess, to his credit we should have written a review on the Home Depot page.
Yeah.
Yes,
He
you
did
should have.
help us figure it out.
How
Not
many
call
dead bodies did you
cops.
need then?
Yeah.
4
think
dead bodies
No,
worth? Or?
so we ended up needing 50 to 60 bags of rock, and
It was 2 big dead guys
well,
that
that's all we
fit
could
in the
carry
back
at once, right?
at once, right?
We had to make multiple
So if
trips.
you try to figure out how many dead guys that we'd lined my outdoor patio with,
A lot of dead guys,
yeah,
and some of them
Yeah.
were fat.
that had to be, oh my gosh, that had to be I would say at least 20 dead guys.
Kari doesn't like spiders. Jack knows this and yet still finds out the hard way. And Kim finds a spider that is the stuff of nightmares.
So you guys know that I am terrified of spiders.
Yes, I
Yes.
I mean, to the point of being a moron.
a paralyzed moron.
And
Yeah.
and it's those. I mean, people call them wolf spiders. I don't know if that's right, but we all know what they are. Those black,
Yeah, those
or brown,
giant ones.
Those, that I call them crinkly spiders because their legs are all like got 18 joints in them. And
They look very armored.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they lived in your basement, Jenny. And now
I only
they
had
live-
one in my basement, but he
Well, I met him.
yeah.
more than once
Okay,
then.
go on.
Of course you did.
But anyway, so terrified of those spiders. And it was interesting. I was watching a show one day. I was watching Gold Rush, where one of these big burly guys who mines for gold in Alaska was talking about his fear of spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Admitting that he was terrified of spiders and that it was so bad that there were times when he'd actually blacked out.
Jesus.
And I was like, oh my God, it's not just me.
Yeah.
So, because, okay, Jack and I used to have a pontoon boat on Medicine Lake in Minnesota.
Mhm.
And we would go out on the weekends whenever, the rare nice weekend in Minnesota. It was on the dock, 50 feet down the dock to get to our boat. It was a marina.
Yeah.
In a pontoon boat, you have to keep the boat covered when not in use. And you put a snap-on cover over the whole top of the boat, right? So every time you go out, you have to take the cover off and unsnap it and roll it back and roll it back and unsnap till you get to the end of the boat. Always there are those kind of spiders under, so every time we do it is this big ordeal.
Yeah, well, and water spiders are bigger than normal.
I have a story about one of those.
So it's like, anyway, so Jack would have to give me this pep talk, and I would have to do breathing exercises, and he'd have to rub my shoulders like I'm Rocky and he's Meredith Burgess, and get me ready to do this.
Oh my God.
It was so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Because they're there, and I know.
Mentally difficult.
It's
it is.
Yeah. So anyway, we're doing this one time, and we're all the way to the back of the boat. We've almost got it done, and no spiders. So
wow.
I'm only mildly out of my mind, and we roll back the last roll, and a great big fucking spider right in front of me, and it starts running at me, and I don't know exactly what happened.
Did you black out?
Because the next thing I knew, I was back on shore.
What the hell? The spider took you to shore.
No,
I'm picturing her paddling with her feet on top of the water.
I tell.
Oh, right, and she's got those big hooves, so she could have been there lickety split.
Apparently, what I did is that Jack is on the dock walking towards me, and he says, "Why did you hit me?" And I'm like, "What?" And I'm still trying to come down here,
Yeah.
And he goes, "We were just rolling that thing along, and all of a sudden you screamed, you slapped me on the back as hard as possible, and ran down the dock 100 miles an hour."
And you were not aware of any of it until he told you.
No, once he said I had a vague recollection, and the poor guy, he didn't have a shirt. He didn't have a shirt on, and we're out in the hot sun. And
so now there's a big spot on his back that looks like a handprint.
Yes, there was. Because apparently I saw the spider,
your husband,
lost my mind, screamed, slapped him as hard as I could,
and took off.
And ran for shore. Yeah.
Well, I think it was like, fuck you for making me unroll this thing.
Yeah, at what point did he learn that you just should not be involved in the unrolling?
Yes. Did he ever get that message?
Well, the trouble is you can't really do it with one person.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
that's
great,
what
that's
what he
huge
said.
Canvas thing. But yeah, and I was just like, well, all I know is spider.
Oh my God.
When I was at Erin's last fall, we were sitting outside, her deck. Well, you haven't been there, Kari, but Jenny, that deck, in the corner there, and she's got those lights along on the railing. I looked over, and across from where we were sitting, I'm like, oh, there must be a toad on that light, like a frog or whatever. Because it was a fairly big thing. So this thing was the size of a golf ball, at least. I mean, no, it was actually bigger than that. It was probably more like the size of a tennis ball with the legs.
We're going to lose Kari here.
It was a giant spider with an egg sack, and then I looked him up.
It's worse when they have egg sacks.
Yeah, because they double in size. But I've never seen...
The egg sack is full of spiders.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I've never seen a spider that big in the Midwest before, and I was freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck is that thing? And they're actually called Raft Spiders, and they do live in the water, and they are capable of building themselves little cocoons and living in the water.
Yeah.
In the water. But they like to go under docks and stuff like that. But they can be you could be floating in the water and encounter one of these things in their little cocoon in the water. I'm like, are you no.
Wait a minute. Oh no.
Yes. I don't think you want to see a picture of it, Kari, but the picture, I mean, I didn't want to put my finger by it, but this thing was huge. You can kind of tell from how it's sitting on the light. It's huge. I mean, we were all freaking out.
I don't want to see the picture, no.
No, you don't.
No. We had something down here one summer, what I called the invasion of the hairy butt spiders. They were huge. They were all over our patio and in the pool. And of course, Jack, this was part of our marriage vows that he would protect me from spiders, for all time. So he was in charge of killing them, and they won't die. They were so scary. And they were so big that you could tell they were hairy. I mean, you got to be a big spider to be hairy.
Yeah.
And they had hairy butts. They had great, big, huge back ends.
I wonder what those were. You need to look them up. Oh, no, you can't look them up. You'll have a panic attack.
No, we just have to hope it never happens again because I don't want to move.
True. Oh, God.
But yeah, that was when Jack went out and tried to kill one with a baseball bat, and it just wouldn't die. It just kept coming.
A baseball bat?
Yes.
And he couldn't kill it with that? Jeez.
No, it wanted into our house.
Oh, that's probably it wanted to come in to suck your blood.
Storming the bedroom patio door.
Oh,
storming.
That's aggressive. I don't know about you, but I learned a few things on today's show. Like if you ever adjust just one crutch, you can really screw with somebody. And also the most efficient way, at least in my family, to figure out how much garden rock or mulch you need is to measure it in terms of dead bodies. I hope you learned a few new things too. Meet you back here next week for more How in the Hell Did I Get Here stories. Until then, pay attention, my friends. You just never know when you might find yourself saying,
who doesn't use dead body weight to figure out what they can get in their trunk?
How in the hell did I get here? Thanks again for all your support. We love our fans. And if you want to hang out with us, come find How in the Hell Did I Get Here on Facebook and join the group. You can also follow me at The Coloring Book Coach or Kari, who is How in the Hell Podcast, on Instagram. See the links in the show notes at howinthehellpodcast.com. You'll also find links over there to the new easy way that you can support the show through buymeacoffee.com. You can just go to buymeacoffee.com/The Coloring Book Coach and buy us as many coffees as you'd like. We love coffee, and we love hearing from our fans. So head on over to buymeacoffee.com/The Coloring Book Coach. Speaking of The Coloring Book Coach, don't forget to grab your free coloring book at thecoloringbookcoach.com and check out what else is going on over there. Our theme song is 7th Floor Tango, and our ad music is Blue Skies, performed by Silent Partner. We found them on YouTube's Creator Library. You can find the link in our show notes. This week's show was written, produced, and hosted by Kari Flodin with editing help from my sister, Kari Flodin.